Right, so you join me in a MK8.5 Golf R Black Edition for a point of view. Yeah, this car has dynamic chassis control. It's the performance pack. It's in pure white, as you've kind of just seen. And yeah, we're going to go for a point of view on some familiar roads. This is actually back-to-back on roads which I've just done on the Club Sport. You might have seen in previous videos, so subscribe and all of that. We're going to set off in comfort with the dynamic chassis control. And actually, as I kind of mentioned before, it's always interesting to see what the turning circle's like on this car. So we'll turn it back. We've got some sort of slow roads and bumpy roads, and yeah, we've kind of got all the options to kind of play around with. So yeah, the start stop button has kind of kicked into life. So we'll sort of activate the car and we'll be ready to go. One thing that I hope you can see on the camera as well, this car has a heads-up display, which I think is one of the first ones that I've tried with a heads-up display actually. It's quite interesting. Loads of configurable modes. With the 8.5 you've got these buttons. Well, you've got the haptic buttons which are retained. You get the R buttons shown there to kind of press. The touch and feel, it's a little bit different to Mark 8. That's how they've kind of changed it. So yeah, plenty to play around with, but you know what, let's get on the move and go from there. So we're gonna turn in the road a little bit here, and let me see, we won't be able to do it in the road. And this car also has area view, so it gets a bit of a change in the camera. Definitely not going to be curving any of these wheels. Yeah, let's go. So I've been sort of noticing, sort of like on my early sort of drives with this back to back, I have driven a Black Edition before, I've driven Golf Rs before, I've driven 8.5s, I've driven Club Sports. I think this car's a little bit more comfortable than a Club Sport with DCC on 19s than the Club Sport on DCC with 18s. So it's super interesting with that. And as we've got quite a few cars and bikes and bumps, it's quite interesting just to see, because this is a Golf. It's a normal Golf, which just so happens to have 333 brake horsepower, amazing sort of chassis dynamics, amazing torque vectoring sort of system as well and setup. Yeah, it's basically the one car that can do everything, and that's great. We'll let this car go through. I'll give them the flash. Yeah, and you can turn off all the assists with the 8.5 infotainment. Now, this previous owner actually had a Mark 8R line and actually said the infotainment's quite similar. It's just generally the screen has kind of changed and a few little bits here and there. So if you're looking to change from an 8 to an 8.5, then that's what you can do. You can see these huge bumps. This is on 19-inch Estoril wheels. It's quite interesting. I don't know if this guy is changing. Don't want him to accidentally drive into me. Yep. Cool. Yeah, quite a lot of bumps. We're in the UK, and I find this subjectively, for my tolerance, perfectly fine. If you went for the 18s, which you could only get if you didn't go for a Black Edition, it would ultimately make the ride quality a little bit better. Perhaps reduce the road noise with the tyres too. But for the ultimate kind of performance, you probably want the 19s just for that wider sort of 235 section tyres. Yeah, steering's nice and light in comfort. And I was chatting to the owner just as we were kind of coming up here. It's just so chilled. You could just be in any car. I'm slightly more used to a little bit more of a firmer car, so perhaps for whoever's watching this, you might want to have like a test drive, check it out, see if it works for you. Yeah, that's definitely what I would recommend. But this feels really, really good. It's it's such a new car as well, so you know, we're going to be taking it a little bit gently, particularly with like brakes are new, tyres are new, engines are new. And I still can't believe even these opportunities happen from subscribers, and because that's what's the big part of it. And to actually speak to a real owner who's living with it, getting to know it, see the ownership kind of the car, that's important. But I'm yet to, well, I haven't seen a white Black Edition before, so just to even see this car, to share it, is pretty special. Very similar to how I've seen it in the Club Sport. Nice narrow width. You can tuck the mirrors in as well if you need to. Nice GTI there too. And we'll be a little bit careful here. It means it just takes the stress off a car. It's not so wide. It's just a Golf. Like, the compromise is actually far less than you'd think. You know, you're getting the top of the range Golf at the moment, the Golf R Black Edition. You're getting all that power. You're getting, stiffer suspension. But actually, it's still perfectly chilled. I mean, we've been in comfort mode, and it's just like, yeah, just a car. Just works. And that might sound boring and hard to kind of describe on camera, but that's what it is. The miles that you're going to do in a car, they're just going to be, most of the time, motorway miles, city driving, and you just kind of just want to just chill, go about your day. And I don't see really any real compromise, which is a great thing. I would say, and I speak to plenty of owners in this community channel, so get involved. If you didn't go for the dynamic chassis control, I think it just doesn't give you that breadth of ability. Even on 18s or 19s, it is just a little bit firmer. Now, I'm not saying if you haven't got DCC that your car is going to be impossible. You just might have heard that pothole there. But it's just going to be, it will just be firmer for you, and that's just something you'll have to go with. We've got loads of bumps here. So even with the dynamic chassis control in comfort, it's still going to be a firm ride. So either way, you've kind of got that. With the performance pack, you get the delimited top speed as part of it, and then you obviously get the spoiler. It kind of flows quite well with the lines, and my neighbour's actually got a white 8.5 non-performance pack car. And it looks a little bit strange, actually. It's almost like it really needs the wing now. So yeah, wing or no wing, let me kind of know in the comments. But so far, sort of like on the point of view, as I've kind of experienced in all these kind of Golfs, it's nice. It's a good car. Steering's probably too light. You know how capable the car is, but you'd probably want it to be a bit firmer, which is why you've got the different modes to kind of play between and to sort of have some fun on. Yeah, this car's also got the panoramic roof, which, yeah, if you can go for this owner had to wait a little bit longer just because of like the production sort of ability to kind of wait on it. I think it's a good one to go for. I also normally turn off a lot of the assists, but I have also sort of come round to realising how actually really useful the assists can be, particularly with like the travel assist when you're sort of stuck in slow traffic and you just want to kind of just to zone out. I remember when I was when I was in the club sport and just stuck in traffic on the M25, it just took all the pressure and all the strain off. And yeah, I think that's kind of what you want. You just want to zone out. Now, this owner, when I chatted to the owner then said to me, Sam, yeah, it does kind of turn up a bit when you put it into special mode, into race mode, and it becomes a different beast. And I love that split personality in a car. And it's actually going to be a bit surprising when this car goes into special, when it goes into sort of like the more dynamic mode. Yeah, it will become a different animal, and we've got some great roads to kind of experience that on. Yeah, oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. And I sort of wondered with the Black Edition, could they have put another like black sign or something in the interior, or maybe even made it numbered? But at the end of the day, I'm really happy and surprised that they're even making cars like this brand new in March 2025. So I'll take what I can get. You get that black sort of badge on the side too. But it's brilliant. And to stress as well, if you got a normal Golf R, say normal, just like the normal 8.5 with the performance pack and dynamic chassis control, fundamentally it's going to be exactly the same as this in terms of driving ability. It's just more the fact that you get a bit more of a bundle, you get the 19-inch wheels kind of thrown in, whereas you'd have to option that on the standard one. You get that black pack, which incidentally when you're driving along, it illuminates as well, so you kind of get the best, absolutely the best of both worlds. Yeah, I know what's coming up with the roads, and I'm already smiling. In terms of like the difference in power, because I can compare this a little bit to the Club Sport that I tried, you've got an extra 33 horsepower. That is a fair amount. You also got a little bit more weight in this car, which I'm not massively noticing at the moment. The car feels quite compliant and bits, but we'll press our well, we'll just go into special mode, shall we? Which straight away drops, which drops the modes. This car already sounded absolutely amazing when the owner came to see me. We'll leave it in auto. Yeah, the steering's a lot better. I mean, I'm barely on anything on the throttle or the brakes. Yeah, see, that's the difference. You really don't even need to go slow for any corners, because it will absolutely hook itself up. And we've got a great sunny day at the moment, but can you imagine in the wet? I don't think anything's stopping it on a road like this. And it sounds so decent as well. And I like the customizability of the dials, because this is definitely the mode I would go for. Like, you've got your sport mode, the special, sport plus, everything's dialed in, and everything's been tested sort of to an nth degree on the Nürburgring and on roads like this. And you can have plenty of fun in the speed limit. The car's not too wide, so you're not too scared. I'm barely using any throttle, and the car's just got it going on. Oh, it's just amazing. Got birds in the way. Now, I mentioned in my last video how much I loved the Club Sport. This car for me feels so much more like a long-termer car. You know, I suppose, yeah, going through it, noticing a little bit less weight from the Club Sport. We'll go back on that road again because it's super fun. It's starting to really burble, which you're never really going to pick up on camera. But in sort of like a long-term ownership proposition, you'd rather be in this. Yeah, when we're in England, it's going to rain, you know, 10 months of the year. And I've had some of the best journeys in my Mark 7 Golf R actually in the wet. I know it'll ruin the owner's lovely clean car, but that's where actually I think these cars are at their most fun, whereas arguably the Club Sport's at its most fun on this bit. Oh, it's so nice. It's nice with the pan roof as well. It feels really, really stable on these kind of twisty roads. I kind of compare this to like a little mini Nürburgring setup. But perhaps that's just me. If we slow down a little bit, still in second, leaving it in the auto mode. There's no hesitation. The car is... It's almost scary in a sense that you don't realise how fast you're going. If I didn't have the heads-up display and I wasn't looking at the big dial in the front, I'd still think I'm doing like 30 miles an hour. Oh, it pivots around so nice. So that torque vectoring, which enables that rear bias nature. And then you've got the compliance as well. The car's getting more comfortable the faster you go. And you know, you can see the speed limit. I'm not going anything untoward, which is what I want to show you, because you know, this is what it's like in the real world. It feels like you can sense it's got that extra 33 horsepower. Like, I feel like I'm backing off the throttle quite a bit. I can imagine when this owner takes this to Germany, yeah, he's going to be in for, just an amazing ride. I mean, can you just imagine just driving this to a track and then being able to absolutely... Oh, wow. Yeah, it's... Yeah, I mean, you can't see my face, but yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I feel like I'm so within its capabilities. That's what I'm just getting that sense of. I'm almost sitting here like, this car's got another like 60% performance and like dynamics, because you can just feel when you're leaning on it, it's got so much more. Like, this car's obviously been around the Nürburgring. It's been around some of the most intense tracks and intense testing, which Volkswagen do such a great job on. It will knock it back into comfort, because it will soften the gears, soften the suspension. Well, not soften the suspension, because special mode actually already has it in its softest DCC. And you can just go back, and you can go back to having a normal conversation and just chilled out. What, like, it's the ultimate car. And now it's got, like, you don't really even have to think when you're kind of ordering it. You know, you can go for like this black edition. You get the wheels, which would cost you anything. You'd get the performance pack, which you kind of need anywhere. You just need black edition and DCC, really. This owner's gone for the panoramic roof. It's great with the pan roof. If you don't go for it, you know, if it's not your cup of tea, then that's fine as well. Oh, it's so brilliant. I'm going to need to take a little bit of time to reflect, because I think that's always the best thing when you're cruising around in it. And you'll join me back. We'll go for another walk around, and I'll just do a little bit of a summary, because I've driven these cars so much as well. Yeah, just to show you a bit more of this black edition, and I hope this point of view has given you this initial sort of idea of what this stunning 8.5 is like.